Morning, guys. Now, when you watch, last night I was soaking in the tub, and they had this video about alcoholism and how to stop alcoholism. It has dramatic music, and the lady from TED is talking, right? And having a bunch of experts tell us we're doing bad things to our bodies and we have bad mental health when they're not capable of. We're guys. There was this thing called World War II. You guys familiar with World War II? Okay. Now, during World War I, it was a big genocidal exercise to maintain and establish, certain kind of status quo. That's what was going on. And the Germans were trying to maintain their status quo and then got blamed for World War I. So then all the other people sit there and said, hey, you're trying to overstep your bounds, and we've already established this, and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to pay for that war. So they charged them tons of money to pay for all the damages. Instead of just saying, okay, we went to war, let's go back to live in peace and stop going to war. They opened up the floodgates for World War II to come. And more mass genocide and abuse and just horrible thing and horrible atrocities. World War II, if you listen to the atrocities, they have tons of TV shows about it where people sit for hours and listen to all this disgusting stuff that happened. Okay. And find it entertaining. And you're like, you gotta be kidding. The only reason to watch this is to make sure we never repeat anything this disgusting. Especially for entertainment, right? And then last night I was watching Barney Miller. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid because you felt empathy for these police officers, okay, and their really compassionate captain, okay, because all these crazy people they have to deal with because of our crazy, our whacked out neo-Nazi behaviors, and so it's. You're sitting there watching all this stuff, and then I was PBS NewsHour, and it was all about these people that are poor and working their way up the food chain, excited about making microchips in Phoenix, right? A place that's being destroyed ecologically because of economics. And you got people here, like I get more uncomfortable and sick when they spray the Roundup. And the thing that makes it most distressing to me is what's happening to Chapacano and the other kids. I'm agitated by it because of my chemical abuse from the military. Okay. These guys have to come out here because of contracts that you have to honor to do farming in this area for genocidal operations, and have to accept the job to die, okay, early, just to support their families. And the people that work here to farm, that love trees, have to stay in business, have to do things their way here, Halliburton, Norfolk Grumman way, or they can't support their families. They can't, you can't just pick up and move here and do this. It's like I told Amy in Sierra Vista, I sit there and said, gosh, when they told me about everything in their genocidal operations, Amy's like, well, I'm going to run and live to fight another day. I'm like, where the fuck you going to go on planet Earth? Okay. Where you're going to run away from the New World Order and the world military unified genocide operations. You're not. You have to stand up for your faith in Jesus Christ and just say, that's it, motherfuckers. I'm making my stand. Okay. You can't sit there and run and hide to get away from the New World Order, the satellites. You can't go anywhere. There's nowhere on planet Earth, okay, that you can go live a peaceful, loving, intelligent life that will not, they're not going to put out propaganda for Furiosa. They're not going to put up propaganda for Dune. They're not going to put out propaganda for Stan Lee's fucked up imagination, okay. And as you sit there and you watch this is more atrocious than when German families had to pay for World War I and had wheelbarrows of money and couldn't pay their bills and had to prostitute their own daughters for sex to maintain just what they needed to live. That's why they mass murdered the Jews and liquidated their assets, because the Jews had to deal foreign currency because of archaic rules of genocidal engagement that they call laws. Okay. And then you hear this one lady who's Windsor and stuff, she knows who I am. She's a complete fucking pathetic asshole, like that guy I chewed out the other day on here, you know, the guy down in El Paso. We need more bigger turnout. Oh gosh, damn, you are such a fucking archaic. It's like an archaic cow saying, what happens? We need to sacrifice more virgins to the volcanoes, right? So you're sitting there watching the stuff, and I'm watching the PBS NewsHour, and they have all these things saturating us with phones to say we need more people to make microchips, and then you're sitting there watching. Here's the disgusting part, okay? The disgusting part is this. When I worked at Fiesta Foods, okay, we worked with chemicals that could rot the balls off a bull and weren't given hazmat suits because it would just, it would kill the people that worked there with cancer, and then they could replace the people that worked there and kill them more with cancer, okay? And then you had the John kid who they all think was so smart because he quit and didn't stay and keep the job like me and Adrian for a while. So if this is the U.S. government, this is Halliburton or their government. If they're going to kill you, they're either going to kill you slowly with poisons in the back of a grocery store to maintain world populace numbers, or they're going to kill you with a cop, okay, who comes to kill you because you're breaking their rules of engagement. They call laws to have people go take, pretend to be a conservative, to call the white ring conservative justices on their hypocrisy. And it's like, you're all hypocrites, you fucking heathens. And so you sit there and you watch it, it's like, this is disgusting. Now, the other disgusting part is, so it's not the people that are important, it's the corporation. Okay, they're protecting the corporation, the stockholders. Okay, like I always tell people at grocery stores, don't leave the carts out. They pass the economic cost on to the consumers, not to their stockholders. Okay. And the other gross thing is, Joey, my nephew, works in a thing in Texas to make cell phones and stuff, and he talks about this horrible process they have to go through all the time just to go to the bathroom. Okay, it's mentally and emotionally wretched. You get out of this suit. It's a real drag, and it's got to be very physically unhealthy and uncomfortable to walk around in these things, and it costs money for these suits. And you're looking at, well, they're doing that. No, I watched the thing on the news. They're not doing it to protect the human beings. They're doing it to protect the product, to make sure the phones work correctly. Okay. The microchips aren't compromised by human disgustingness. It's got to have dust free. You can't breathe on it. You can't just. So it's the phone, the fucking phone. The fact that the phone works right, that the phone can monitor all the behaviors on the apps for the billionaires in the houses to make sure that they're all doing it right, that they're all paying attention to the New World Order's laws and the rules of genocide engagement and the mass murder. And if Chapacano and his friends he works with end up getting a lawsuit for $30 million for their family, to take care of their family, it'll be just like the people in Germany, okay, having wheelbarrows of money and have to prostitute their own daughters just to have what they need to survive. And the thing about it is you're not surviving, okay? We are having record high temperatures that are destroying our ecosystem in El Paso, okay, and a drought that's making it hard for us to survive or move or do anything, okay? And then in Florida, the water's coming in and washing everything around, bogging them down, okay? So the places where nature can use whatever it used to slow us the fuck down, to stop destroying everything, and then we get blamed for it. You need to conserve energy. You need to stay home. You need to not get up in an airplane and try to go to Shark Tank to buy a basketball team, to have irrational, aggressive, violent, selfish people doing overconsumption, production, excessive activities. Okay? And then they make movies about what a great person they're acting like, the Jordans are acting like, because they're so, and this is millions of years in the making. So they may have already been in nature, most likely already been in nature or spirit, to be that aggressive, to be that selfish, and think I deserve lots of money for selling basketball shoes instead of standing up for the Lord's Prayer and appreciating and loving the Messiah born in New Mexico. Lord, burned to Ralph and Mary with Gabe and Mike, helping them through faithful prayer to unite all rabbinic documents to have world peace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ through the faith of Father Abraham. Adam and Eve's genetic offspring. Okay, I love you guys, but boy, you really need to get your shit together, because you're really disgusting, and I'm not, and you should learn to be more like me and less like you. Okay, all you David Rockefeller clones. All right, peace.